Hello, my name is Ann Wendel, and I am the widow of Officer Douglas Wendel, who was a Richmond police officer killed in the line of duty in 2003. I am also the secretary of the Virginia chapter of Concerns of Police Survivors, which is a national support group supporting the families and co-workers of law enforcement who have lost their lives in the line of duty. We just found out last night that this is going to apply to first responders also. So why aren't there representatives of first responders on this task force? Don't think that the legislature is not going to sneak in cuts to benefits under cover of night, because they've already done that to us. In 2018, they didn't tell anybody when they cut the health insurance benefits to widows who had remarried, and we didn't find out until the health insurance was already gone. The only thing we were able to do was to grandfather in those widows who had already remarried. That was a benefit that had been promised to us since the year 2000, and it is now gone. My husband and I have 3 children, and they all got their degrees, and they all have good jobs. And for that, I am very grateful. We are very grateful. But to the legislature, why do you want to make it harder? Isn't it already hard enough? Isn't it already hard enough to raise 3 grieving children while you are grieving yourself? I prayed every day and worried every night that they weren't going to make it through high school. I don't want to betray my children's privacy by telling you what issues that they had compared to the issues that other children have who also are members of Concerns of Police Survivors. But these are the issues that mine and my friends' children dealt with when they were teenagers. And we all know that being a teenager is the worst time of your life. And teenagers aren't going to tell you anything. They're not going to tell you how they feel. They're not going to tell you what's wrong. They're not going to go to counseling. They're not going to open up to anybody. So some teenagers are suicidal. Some teenagers self-medicate with drugs or alcohol, and some of them end up arrested that way. Some of them can't concentrate because of grief, so they get low grades or they drop out of school. Some of them believe that they're going to die at the same young age that their father died. So why should they bother trying to go to college? There isn't any hope for their future. Some of them are trying to replace their own family, so they get pregnant. Some of them are so anxious that they're going to lose their other parent, that they're school phobic, or they're afraid to leave the house. Graduation day for all 3 of my kids was a joyous and proud day. We were all so proud that we had made it, to high school graduation. But of course, it wasn't all that joyous because their father was not there, although they did have his badge on their cap. Then we got to applying for college. A lot of widows, myself included, are very reluctant to take money because we look at it like it's blood money, and we can't bear to use it. It took me quite a while before I used any money, and I had to look at it like it was still my husband providing for his family, even though he wasn't actually here in person. So we started applying for college, and my children in their high schools had guidance counselors and teachers and their friends who were all applying to college at the same time. And so everyone was saying to them, why aren't you applying for scholarships? And my daughter explained to her friend that she was getting a waiver because her dad died. And her friend said, you're so lucky. Lucky? Lucky. Well, we are lucky, and I consider myself lucky because all the people who went before me, whose husbands lost their lives in the line of duty, they didn't get benefits like this. So yes, we were lucky. But my daughter didn't know what to say, so she came home and told me this. And I said, well, when people have said this to me, I have said to them, look around at the dinner table and see which of your family members do you want to die so you can get a scholarship to college. And my daughters wanted to tell these people that it's none of their business why she's not applying for scholarships, but that's pretty rude, especially when you're saying that to a teacher. So I told her to just say, well, it's private. When my son started filling out college applications, his guidance counselor was good enough to have the whole class do that together, and they all applied for scholarships. So when she tried to get him to apply for scholarships and he wasn't going to, he gave her the best answer that a student could answer. My mother said so. And the guidance counselor said, oh, I'm sure your mother wants you to apply for scholarships. Do you want me to email her? And he said, yes. So he came home and told me this, and I emailed the guidance counselor, and I thanked her for being so helpful with all the students. But I told him that he wasn't going to apply for scholarships because he had this waiver because his father had been killed in the line of duty when he was 4. He had missed his entire school career. And I asked her to please not push him and to please keep away all the other students and all the other well-meaning teachers from asking him questions, because this is so distressing for him to talk about. Then you get to college. Then what do? The colleges must really not use this benefit very much because they really don't know what to do. We get to the bursar. And bursars get very cranky when you tell them that you are not going to pay them. And then you have to explain to the bursar that you're not paying them because your father is dead. And then they send you to their supervisor, and then you tell that person that your father is dead. And how many people do you have to tell that your father is dead before you finally make it to the dean? If the dean has finally figured out what to do, then you have to do this all over again next semester. Because very likely you can't register for your next semester classes because your account still has your bill marked as unpaid. And then you have to explain to somebody else that you're not paying, you've already paid because your father is dead. At one college, I argued back and forth with a very nice dean who just didn't understand the program and told me that it just didn't apply. And I told him that, okay, since it was Sunday night and my child was trying to go to school on Monday, that I would pay the bill with my credit card and the dean could clear it and he could register. And then when the dean spoke to his lawyer on Monday, they could refund my money. And so the lawyer spoke to the dean did speak to his lawyer on Monday, and they did refund my money. So why are you trying to make this harder? Why do we need to fill out FAFSA? How many applications do we have to write "My father is dead" on? Just this weekend, I have spoken to 2 people who are so upset from arguing over benefits that they are supposed to get for so long, that they are now so upset that they are just giving up. This is not a need-based program. What they need is their father back.